And yes, it looks like I'm alive or live again, guys, and as usual, a couple of seconds late. So, hi guys, this is another Tuesday evening, and I am very happy to present another special guest. I am very pleased and honored to have Dr. Laura Gotz with me today. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Christina. Thank you very much for inviting me in your amazing Facebook Live.
Let's see where we are. Give me a second. All right, perfect. Me and technology is two different things. So, Laura, first of all, for the audience for today, I would really love to ask you to introduce yourself. And my favorite question, who is Laura?
Oh yes, this is a great question, and we like all coaches know to when to ask this question, and then all the clients look at them like, oh my god. So I am excited, and I'm nervous every time I have to answer this, because every time I feel like giving another answer. And this is something that I've been struggling with like my whole life. And yeah, you know how it is. You ask yourself always, who are you and why are you here, on all of those questions. And at one point I came to the very, very simple question, answer to this question. I am me. So this would be my answer. And it is something that I have accepted. And every time I say this, it just fills me up with so much joy and so much peace, that I don't have to put any labels on me. I am just me, and I am happy the way I am.
Oh, that's a beautiful answer. And I really, really like your answer, what you give to yourself. I am me, because basically this is everything what we have been talking about in this, previous interviews. Who are you? I am me. And when you dare to say I am me, it means that you accept yourself the way as you are in that specific moment. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. You just have to accept you have to accept yourself, with everything that it implies, what it implies to be you, with all the good, with all the bad, so with all the pleasant aspects and with all the unpleasant aspects. In the end, it is you, and you have to love yourself no matter what.
Amazing. Um, then I would love to ask you, what do you do?
Okay, what do I do? So to present myself,
Yes,
because
please.
I'm so happy to talk to your followers, and I love the fact that they already know a lot of other self-love coaches, and self-empowerment coaches and mindset coaches, because this is very important to know these types of people who are really helping us get our lives on track. And I am a doctor, so I would start with, the term that a lot of people would understand. So I'm a gynecologist. I'm always wanted to do this. I always wanted to help women, and yeah, of course, help them bring life into this world, but also help them be happy and healthy. And at one point when I was doing, what every doctor does in the hospital, so all the clinical work, I realized that I really want to be there for my patients, also on a psychological level. So this is how I transitioned into life coaching. Now I would like to say that I am a happiness coach, a self-expression coach, yeah, mindset coach, transformational coach, whatever. Again, all of these labels that I don't really like. But when I talk to my clients, is I want to help you be happy, and I want to help you and give you the strength to follow your dreams, because this is the only way that you will be happy in this life. If you do what you want, and you follow that energy that has been with you since the beginning of time, but everybody kept telling you, no, this is the wrong path for you. And we all know that people who do not listen to this inner voice, and who go on different path, then end up in very bad places. And the only solution to become happy is to go back to that original path, to have the strength to accept that it is your path, and then follow it, and you will be truly happy.
And that's so amazing to hear that from you as a doctor, because, I grow up knowing that a doctor is always from the books, only that, knowing one thing, kind of, their way. And it's really beautiful. And I love you, Laura, because you make my heart sing hearing that from a doctor that, you know, first of all, love yourself, be you, do what you love, kind of being peace with yourself. And then the medicine or what I am doing will help you, because I said that a doctor, they only can help you if you are willing, to change, or you allow them to be helped, and that you incorporate, the traditional medicine, you being a gynecologist with the holistic therapist. Can I call it like holistic, because it's quite a lot? That's amazing, amazing, amazing. Tell me a little bit about your own journey. Because a coach. Okay, I don't really like this word coach as well. You know that,
Yeah.
but let's say coach, just for the sake of saying
Just
it.
for the sake of everybody knows, what a life coach is.
Exactly.
And even though a lot of coaches do not agree with this term, we'd like to be known maybe as, some people want to be known as healers or holistic therapists
Therapist,
or
exactly.
hypnotists. Yeah, but let's go with coach. Yeah.
Tell, tell me a little bit about your own journey. How did you get here where you are today, right now? What was your journey?
Oh, all the journey.
Oh, the
So let's
journey.
go
I
back
know, I know.
to like all the journey when you were 2 years old. Um, yeah. So I really, really love my journey. And when you start working with yourself, you start to seeing patterns.
Mm,
And at the beginning, it's very overwhelming, and you have to fight with a lot of guilt and with a lot of doubt. But if you trust the process and you trust the universe, then at the end, it gets easier to accept all of these patterns in your life that will always happen. We will never get rid of these. But if we accept them and we know when they're coming up and how to handle them, then we do experience a lot of freedom, like a freedom of movement through this life. So for me, I always knew that I am a creative and will be a creative. So for me, the plan was to become a writer, to do something, to bring happiness to people in this form, to really present them books that will enrich their lives. So this was something that I wanted to do when I was younger. And then, of course, others came and said, yeah, but why don't you become a doctor, because you're smart? And we all know that doctors are very esteemed in this world, and, make a name for yourself. So other people just kept putting this idea into my head that I will be better off as a doctor, and just leave this creative nonsense, because you don't earn money with it. Nobody's going to accept you. You are going to be bad at it. So I, of course, what you're going to do when you're a kid, you are you are going to listen to your parents if you are a like obedient little girl. Some rebels don't listen to their parents. If that's a good thing or not, we we cannot say right now, because everybody has their own journey. But this was kind of like, for me, at one point my dream stopped, and then I started living the dream that others have planned for me. And we know how this goes. You will end up in a bad place, because it is not your journey. It is not the end of your journey. uh, we want to have, the end of our journey has to be in a happy place. We have to feel good about ourselves. We have to wake up every day with a smile on our faces, and have all this energy to continue to do everything in this life, so we are happy and we make other people happy. And I didn't do that, so I followed the path that somebody else had planned for me, and I end up in very, very bad places. And I end up in depression and burnout. And I knew I had to stop somewhere. So before I hit rock bottom, I decided to start fighting for my dreams. And this is how I acknowledge this now. This is how I prolonged, you know, the the bad place, instead of reaching burnout. When I was way younger, I kept fighting for my dream, and it pushed me further. But at one point, it just wasn't enough. So I did have my burnout. I had my depression, and of course, you never heal from it. You just goes better. But you do learn a lot. I do believe that you do have to take multiple journeys into your life, so you learn. You know, we learn with this reflex. If you go and you burn yourself, you know, on a hot plate, you know, oh, this is not good, I will never do that again. So this is what the universe gives us. The universe gives us one right path, and if we're not on it, then we're going to get a lot of hot plates, and then we should learn from it and go back on the right path. And if we have, for me, it was like I was very afraid to go on the right path. I was very afraid because I had so many doubts. Again, you know, who will read your books? Who will love you? You will not have success, and all of these fears that everybody has. So I kept, you know, going and taking other paths, and every time I got that slap from the universe and got me right back on track. And I really, really love this, and I'm so grateful for all of these, you know, slaps from the universe, because at the beginning you don't want to admit that everything has a meaning, and every bad thing that happens to you, bad thing, yeah, it has a purpose. So you don't have to be upset about it. You know, you don't have to regret anything. You know, you don't have to wallow yourself in self-pity. They're all lessons you have to learn. You have to get the strength from it, and this is the strength that you get. So you have the power, you have the courage to follow your path. And it has been an amazing journey, from transitioning from all this depression and burnout, to accepting who I really was, that I am a creative, then taking all of the stuff that I've learned, all of the stuff that I can do, and you know, putting it all on the table and saying, okay, this is who I am, this is what I can do. How can I use all of this to make myself happy? You know, what can I do in order to satisfy all of my needs? So this is what I'm doing. I have taken up more book projects because this is what I love. I said, I am a creative. I want to work with people. I want to help them accomplish their dream of publishing, of writing, and help them write better, and also help them, you know, release this fear of writing, because I think everybody who's watching had at one point the idea, oh, I'm going to write a book. But that was it, the idea, because what came afterwards was the you know, the fear that they couldn't do it. So they stopped. You know, 1 second, I have an idea for a book. The next second, no, it's too difficult, I'm not going to do it. And this is what I'm doing, helping people realize, you know, helping people accomplish this dream. And because I am a creative, I also help other people accomplish other dreams. Like I said, I love helping women. This is what I've always wanted to do. And somehow it made sense to become a gynecologist, because you're a doctor who helps women. So there you go, you can do that. And when I was doing my hospital internships, I realized that I don't want to be that clinical doctor, like you said, who is always, you know, straight and follows all of these protocols, and, you know, there's a yes and no, there's no middle. I really didn't like that. I didn't like, you know, how you or you know, how all of those rules made me act. So I said I wanted to take a break from this. I want to make my own standards, and help women the way that I think that is best. And it is not like you are breaking scientific protocols, because the science is there. You were not going to fight about it, but I had to open my eyes at the beginning, and then I want to help other people and other women open their eyes and see that there is a world of possibility out there. Then when you thought there is no way out, there is no way that I will publish, there is no way that I can write this book, there is no way that I can become healthy. Yes, there is. You just have to, open your eyes, or change your glasses, change your views on the matter, and then a whole new world opens up to you, and then you can change. I do believe that if you are creative enough, then you can find the right solution for any challenge that you have. So this has been my journey, always finding new creative ways to just stay on my path and follow my purpose and be happy with who I am and what I do.
And I must say, Laura, it is a beautiful journey, and you are amazing, really, really amazing for having the courage that after all the shoulds, what you should be, what you should do, okay, you've done your part, but also at the same time, you choose what your heart said, told you to choose, the right thing. So you have basically, um, you are a doctor as well, but you are the writer and the coach as well. And this is amazing because all these accumulated experiences can give so much value to everyone who will have the chance to work with you. And oh my goodness, and I'm really, really liking that you say that the truth is that everybody can be creative. And yes, I found myself, and I'm so resonating with what you're saying, because when I wrote my first book, I was like, nah, I would never. But here it is. So everybody can write. Okay, not necessarily, or everybody can be creative, not necessarily writing, but on painting or dancing. So everybody can, follow this, their heart singing, right kind of stuff. So it is amazing, and I admire your courage really, because I know that where we came from, being you were the obedient girl category. I was the sorry, the rebel girl category, because when I've been told that I should be a doctor, I should be a lawyer, I was like, no way, and I ran away from home. But at the end of the day, the path is the same. So I always, turn back here and there, as you did, and you are doing now in this moment of your life what you really, really like to do, and that's the most important. That well, my message would be here is that, guys, who are watching right now live, or you are watching this in the replay, just give Laura a big, big heart, a big like. She deserves it, please. She is amazing. She is an awesome girl. Okay, what do you think about self-love? I would love to ask you. And do you think that your success in life and self-love are connected? I know this is one of your
Yeah, I love self-love, I I I do believe that life coaching is all about self-love. So no matter what you talk about, nutrition coaching, losing weight coaching and business coaching, whatever, it is all about self-love, because if you don't have that, then you won't have that energy to succeed, and be happy about it. Because we know a lot of CEOs, yeah, they have success, but they have no self-love, and then they're not happy about it. So I use this metaphor all the time with my clients. Just imagine that you broke up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you're crying, because you're heartbroken. Is it any different, if you are crying in your one-bedroom apartment, or your huge Hollywood villa? There's no freaking nothing different, because the pain is the same. So that is why we should focus on what is inside, on our feelings, and really, really, follow our intuition, and just connect with our bodies and appreciate more what our bodies can do and not what the outside can do. Definitely. So self-love is number one in any coaching strategy. I do love to make a comparison, or like a test with self-love and self-confidence, where I ask people, how, like, in percentage, how much do you love yourself, and how much self-confidence do you have? And of course, depending on the types of percentages, if it's more or less or equal, then you can like see what's actually happening with these people. And of course, you're going to have if you're going to have a lot of self-love, you are going to have a lot of self-confidence. That is like a rule. You can have a lot of self-confidence, but not nothing in the self-love section, or you can have like an average of both. This is also normal. But like I said, if you have a lot of self-love, then automatically you'll have a lot of self-confidence. And why is that? And since I've started this journey and I've started to love myself more, I was self-confident before, but now I was like very self-confident. And a lot of people will confuse this with, being arrogant. So I have seen this, I've heard this a lot of times, and like personally, and also a lot of my clients and also colleagues, who are very self-confident, who are very good at their job, who are great people, but others say that they are very arrogant when they are talking to people. And especially when we are talking about women who show self-confidence are very arrogant. This is what other people say to us. And at the beginning, it really hurt me. And I see this in my clients at the beginning, that they have, this guilt. Oh my God, why, they say that I'm not friendly, and I tell them, you are who you are, and you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are. Just be yourself, and other people will fear you for your strength. Other people will not love what they see, because, people hate seeing others happy.
Exactly.
And even though they won't admit that they hate you because you're happy, they will tell you you are arrogant.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they will, come up with other terms, because they themselves do not like to admit the fact that they are jealous.
Exactly.
Who wants to admit being jealous? It hurts. It just hurts. It is very difficult to accept all of these negative emotions, and it is very difficult for a lot of people to look inside. I tell everybody, what is very difficult to do is to hold up a mirror and look inside it. It hurts like hell. And you feel at the beginning, when you start your journey and you do these exercises, you do feel like shit. Because you all of the doubts and all of the guilt comes back, and you start thinking that you are the worst person in the world. But then when you realize why you have all these emotions, and that the person having, being happy in front of you and you being jealous is just a reflection of your own dissatisfaction in life. So once you accept that you are unhappy because you are unhappy, and not because somebody else is happy, once you start looking at your soul, then everything becomes easier in life and you start to heal. That is why I tell people, you have to work on your self-love. It's good that you have self-confidence, because a lot of my clients are women who are in business, who are strong on the outside, but on the inside, they're like the zero self-love. So we start working on that. And then it's just like a huge boost in every aspect of their life, because they've started to accept themselves for who they are. They don't have to please everybody, people pleasing. They don't have to be nice to everybody. They don't have to accept all the bullshit. And yeah, like I said, maybe at one point some people will not love you, will not accept you, but this is just because they have their own problems to deal with. And I tell everybody, I don't have time to heal you.
Exactly.
I have my own problems. If you need healing from me, you can make an appointment and you can become my client. But just because you're an asshole doesn't mean I have to, stand up with you. So this is the attitude that I'm bringing into my future, that I have totally accepted since a couple of months, when I release myself from like a whole lot of negative energy, and it has been incredible. And this is what I want to tell people: when you start loving yourself and you get that self-confidence through self-love, you are going to heal very, very fast from all of the other challenges, the hot plates that the universe gives you, because you're like, okay, I learned that, bounce back. I learned that, bounce back. You are not going to fall into that pit of depression anymore, and you're not going to cry and then blame everybody else. You're just going to accept that and bounce back. And this is what I want to give, to me. I keep learning. I want to give it to people listening in all of our lives and all of the other videos, and also my clients. I want to give them that strength that they, after a while of working together and learning, maybe months, maybe years, you get that strength to bounce back so fast that you can live, as much of your life in happiness and peace and love.
That's so beautifully said, Laura. Again, again, again. And I acknowledge you and I recognize, because um, in the beginning, when I started this journey, I was afraid that if I start to love myself, to pay a little bit more attention to myself, I felt guilty, I feel the shame. And then when I started, to love a little bit myself, then I was labeled, as you said, as being arrogant, being like this and that. I was like, oh my goodness, I already had, that in my mind, that oh my God, what other people will think of me, and then it was like another baggage. But at the end of the day, who cares what other people think of me? It's not my problem. It's their problem. They have to solve it. And then I've learned that, oh, everybody is a mirror of yourself. But I didn't really understood what does it mean, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not like this. And I had to learn, what exactly that means. So it was a beautiful, really tough journey, loving yourself, accepting yourself, and going on this journey, especially in the beginning, is really tough, because you do a lot of shadow work, you do a lot of work from inside, and then you find there a lot of shitty stuff, really, what you bring with yourself from years and years and years. But when you get to the point that you understand the meaning of self love, that it is not selfish, it is not something to be ashamed of, and it is the basis of everything. It is basically the basis of a balanced life. Then everything is gonna change. So thank you very much for sharing that with me, Laura.
And I love, Christina, that you mentioned now an amazing term that I love to talk about in my sessions. What does it mean to be selfish? Because when we think about it, this is language. Language gives like a tone to a specific word. And we have learned that being selfish is a bad thing. This is what we have learned, what other people have taught us. And then when I go into session and then we talk about the ego, and then I talk about being selfish, and in Romanian and in German is egoismus. So they're like ego and egoismus. So the clients tend to think that they're the same thing. And I'm like, no, it is not the same thing.
Yes.
It is completely different. Being selfish has this negative meaning, but actually being selfish is very good to people who are healing. And it means that if I have the chance to make myself happy or another one happy, I have the right to make myself happy and let the other person, fight their own battles. So it is not a bad thing taking care of yourself, like saving your life, saving your relationship, your future, and so on. So I do believe that we should live in love, and we should love everybody and treat everybody kindly. But that doesn't mean that we have, to forget about ourselves. And it doesn't mean that we are less valuable and we deserve less respect just because if we do that, we are being selfish. So again, a great term that we should always have in our back of our mind and think about.
And that's again a thing what I've learned, that you cannot love, you cannot give what you don't have inside you. And this is again something what I learned along the way. So I only can give that much love to others what I feel for myself. I only can give that much respect, to others what I have for myself. And this is an amazing journey. All right, Laura, how who do you like to work with? How would you define your ideal client, and where they can find you if someone will resonate with what you're going to say now? So, guys, please attention. She's going to tell you a little secret.
um, for me, when I think about what is your ideal client, again, I hate this because you have to choose like a label, and I cannot work with just one type of people. I want to work with as many people as I can, if I can help them. So at the beginning when we talk, then I say, how can I help you with? Then it, it's like the half an hour discussion to see how we come along, because one coach will help with one challenge, the other coach with another one, and so on. So I want to see if I can help with anything, if we have like a lot of problems. And what I can help people with is really, finding self-love, finding themselves, finding happiness again. I can help them, on their journey to happiness, and they can learn how they can allow themselves to be happy. So this is what I tell people: if you want to learn how to allow yourself to be happy, and you are willing to do the work, you are willing, even it's not going to be easy. If you are willing to do whatever it takes, then I will help you. I will be there with you. We will grow together on this journey, because I'm not, the smartest person on the planet. I'm just somebody who can help you change your view a little bit. So you see, you more of this amazing thing we call life. And if people want to approach me and talk to me, what I do, so I also do some medical things if they're more scientifical, because I have people who are more logical, and then I have another approach. And to other people who are creative, then we go and do more spiritual work. But in the end, I help them find the way back to themselves, and then allow themselves to be happy. The newest technique that I have brought into my coaching therapy, which at the beginning was very spiritual, and now I'm bringing writing into it. So I'm bringing a lot of journaling into it. I am really making people, confront their insides, their inner voice, because I have learned after over a year of just doing spiritual work, just talking and doing meditations, it is not enough. I wanted to make their hand take a pen, and I wanted them to write and feel the paper. I wanted their brain to really understand and reread what they have written, and I wanted their eyes to be there. So I have realized that this is such a powerful technique when we are combining this. And this is something that we can work on. If it's just to heal, or if it's just to write a book. And when I say just to write a book, it all has to do with inner healing, because you cannot write a book just like this. It goes through you. It's something so internal and so intimate that you will definitely have to fight your demons if you want to succeed with it. And I think, like you said, you have done this, and now you're doing it again with our project. and it was just an amazing experience. So if people say that they are drawn a little bit, you know, to what I said, and they're drawn to me, they can contact me. I have my own website, or they can write to me through this live. My website is www.drlauragotz.com. So we'll write it at the end of this session. If people Google me, they will find me, and then we can have a chat, because I am always looking for people who I connect, and then we can work over a period of more months or maybe years if that is the case. Whatever it takes to make other people just feel as happy and as free as I feel. And every day I'm working on it, and I want to give them this power to carry on their journey and be as happy as they can.
Beautiful. I'm going to ask you, Laura, at the end of this live session to write your details down in the comments below. So whoever would love to connect with you, you know, they know where they can find you, you know, your website and your page. And also, before we close this session, this live from today, I would love to ask you, I wouldn't say advice because I'm not good in advices, but what would be your last word, or what would you tell to our audience from today? What would be the message, what you would love to share with them? 'Cause I don't want to ask what advice would you give, because
No, it's not an advice. We are, you know, in coaching, we're like philosophers,
yeah,
because in the end, you know, we express a message how we want to express it, and the audience will interpret it how they want to interpret it. So it's not like really advice, it's just a philosophy that keeps, you know, keeps on giving. And for me, what I love and what is very like on the like the I think on the top or it's either on the top or the base of my coaching is of self-love, is the fact that whatever decision you make in your life, as long as you make it with your heart, it will never be the wrong one. So there is never a right or a wrong decision. There is only just a decision that you make with your heart. And then time will tell if it was, you know, a let's say optimal decision, if it was a fruitful one, you know, if it was a successful one, or it was one that okay, it could have been better and now we have learned from it. So, you know, this is people have this fear to decide. I have a lot of clients who cannot decide, and I'm like, oh my god, people, how can you go through life? You have to make decisions every second of your life, you know. There's like decisions. And because you always think, what if, you know, you cannot make a decision because you're stuck on what if. Like, you cannot write a book because you are stuck on what if I cannot write, what if I will not sell, what if, and then you're stuck at what if. Just listen to your heart and take the decision, and if it's good, then happy for you. And if it wasn't that good, then you've learned from it, and next time you know better. But never be afraid to follow your heart, and never be afraid to make decisions with your heart, because these decisions you will never truly regret. We only regret the things that we haven't done in life. We only regret the things that we do because other people told us.
Thank you very, very much. And it was a beautiful ending for this session. I am very grateful for you, Laura, for being here with me today. I hope, guys, that you enjoyed this session as much as I did. We are going to put all the details from Laura in the comment box below. And thank you, Laura, for being here. And I'm seeing you guys next Tuesday again. And have a nice evening. Sending you love.
Bye, guys.
Bye for now. Thank you, Laura.